We are now going alive again. Okay, so I said, first of all, I'm sorry to our viewers for interruptions. Anyway, I just said that maybe some of my Serbian subscribers who are watching now this, and of course they love my channel because they are subscribed to my channel. I mean, they love it because of history and archaeology, and I always try to be transparent in history and archaeology. I think some Serbian will now come and say, Anita, yeah, Croatians love everyone except Serbians, right? But that's also
Generalization.
generalizations. Yeah. So I already explained that in Croatian and Serbians can understand Croatian. So but it will take some time. It's not like something which will vanish tomorrow. So yeah. But as I maybe you have in Nigeria something similar with some other country in Africa, like some rivalry in sport and every other way. Yeah.
No, just in itself, we have a rivalry with South Africa.
Oh,
Well, not all of us, because I don't see any. Well, there was a time when Nigerians who would go to South Africa were like being killed, like they were being murdered by South Africa. Well, not all South Africans. There was a group of people in South Africa who were always doing that.
you
So
mean
they blamed the whole
that was that wasn't during
xenophobic.
apartheid, right? But
No,
late.
no, no, no. A few years back,
Oh,
they,
okay.
yeah,
Jesus.
it was called the xenophobic attacks in South Africa. So they were killing Nigerians and some other parts of Africa, but it wasn't all of them. But then the media says it's South Africa, but it's not all of them. So a lot of Nigerians were killed when they were there and all that. So yeah, we do have that rivalry.
Well, this between Serbians and Croatians, it goes really long. For this, that's a long story. Maybe,
I
maybe
heard
your
this.
husband told you something. I don't want to get into that anyway.
My
Um,
husband doesn't like talking about that.
yeah, that's politics, and but because we are open-minded, and this is a free speech. I think even Serbian people we need more laughing in something people take so seriously, and the situation between Serbia and Croatia is always taken very seriously in both countries. So uh, I always try to ease the tensions in my videos between those two. Those two. I mean, it's not like Israel and Palestine. It's not like that. No, 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 no. But it's not like that. It's more like I would compare it France and Germany 10 years after the World War II.
Well, true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was it wasn't very clear, what the hell. I'm sorry for my language. What the hell happened, But uh, emotions were high, Anyway, of course, Croatia and Serbia are now friendly countries, and I hope you will one day visit Serbia, of course. Yeah.
I was in Serbia.
You was okay. I didn't know that. So
It's on my channel. I was in Serbia for 5 days.
okay, so my Serbian subscribers, how do you like Serbia? And
Wow. It's literally okay. Serbia is like New York.
you mean
That's the
Belgrade?
difference.
Yeah,
Sorry, Belgrade. Yeah, Belgrade.
yeah,
Belgrade. Oh God. Belgrade is like New York. Compared to Croatia. Croatia is kind of like where you go to like for vacation if you have money. Croatia is like you make your money and you go and stay in Croatia. But Belgrade is so metropolitan. It makes you want to work, 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 because
yeah,
everything is like the streets is so huge. It's everything is just different. It gives me the vibe of New York, and Croatia. Zagreb gives me the vibe of California. You know,
yeah, yeah.
the Bay.
I know what you mean. once in history, Belgrade, like I don't know, 100 years ago, Belgrade was even called the Paris of Eastern Europe. Yeah, I mean, it has that megalomanic look. Because yeah, yeah,
It's too
uh,
much taken at once. But I
yeah,
also like the fact that in Belgrade there's still those old buildings.
yeah. Something like
That's
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and I've been into one. The hotel we stayed at had the everything was just the same. So I went crazy. Everything was the same, like
yeah.
back then, 200 years ago. So it was very, it was very nice.
I understand.
Yeah,
Uh, well, I was in Serbia, but a long time ago. Anyway, when we talked about black and white situation in USA and in general in the world, imagine now in Croatia and Serbia, for example, people who speak similar language understand each other, same race and everything, two different nationalities, and we have some quarrels because mostly because of our religion. Imagine that. So people tend to make big things out of anything, not just the racial issues or anything. We are Croatians are Catholics and Serbians are Orthodox Christians, and that's like a big time, in Europe. That's historical stuff, and but I always try in my archaeology and history videos to when I making video about Serbian history, I always show it as it is. But people from both sides tend to somehow, bend the real truth into their own favor. Uh,
yeah.
for our Serbian audience, you loved Serbia in
I
general.
loved. Yeah.
You
Okay.
been to Bosnia also, as I
Yes,
noticed. Yeah,
I haven't been to the main part of Bosnia. The what's
Sarajevo.
it called? Sarajevo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only been to the. Uh, I don't know where it's called, but it's like my father-in-law's place. It's a village.
Oh,
I can't remember the name.
I don't know.
It's
Sorry.
deep in the mountains. It's deep in the mountains,
Yeah,
but
Bosnia is mountainous country. Yeah,
yeah. You
yes.
see, that's the reason why I love Croatia. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm saying I love Croatia so much, but the reason why I love Croatia is, or one of the reasons is the fact that it's surrounded by or surrounded with water. So, like, I can go to Zagreb and just be in the city, and then I can just take a 3 hour drive and go to Pag or Sada or
Yeah,
Patia at the beach.
I understand. And
So it's
for such a small country as Croatia is, it's unbelievable how different it is, considering climate and you know, uh, considering architecture for such a small country. The only country, if you would ask me, Daniel, tell me one country in Europe where there is such huge difference between north and south. I mean, in terms of culture and architecture, I would say Italy. But Italy is a country of 60 million people, and Croatia is only 4 million. So,
Are you sure it's only 4 million still? Because there's so many people.
no,
And
it's
like,
it's even less than 4 million because I'm sorry. Once we were like 4.5 million people, and now in the last 10 years, many of Croatians went to to work in Germany, in Ireland, because European Union. So you have a same Schengen area. Everything you can move everywhere you want. So many Croatians decided, unfortunately, to leave Croatia, and so we are now like 3.5 million, to be honest. Something, yeah. But in the world, entire world, I mean, there are a lot of Croat emigration.
yes.
Around 10 of millions of us there is in the world. Yeah. Uh, Especially there is a large community of Croatians in Canada, as far as I know, in Australia, USA, of course.
Yes, that one I
Uh,
know.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe in Chile. Yeah, in Chile and Argentina. Uh, and of course Germany. I don't even have to mention Germany. So, when you sum it all up, would you? Uh, I mean that's between you and your family. But would you ever consider to live in Croatia when you love it so much? I mean, one day.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I mean, like I said, Croatia is not a place that you go to when you don't have money. You know why? It's not expensive, but let's just say you want to live a good life, a good standard life with your family, like you want to have a house of your own car.
Yeah.
Um, you would feel too relaxed in Croatia. I don't know why. There's just something about the way everything is. Everything is just chill. Like
Yeah.
you go out, everybody's walking to work, or on the scooter, or people are just like chilling in the coffee shops,
It's men.
smoking. So it's
It's mentality.
chill.
Yeah, it's mentality like that. We are not
I,
like,
I
for example, Germans who are always in a hurry, who are always in. I was in Austria and Germany, and I would say Austrians are different than Germans in that aspect. They are more casual, even though they are both Germanic. But
think
uh,
Croatians are like people, the French, right? The French
what?
are just,
Yeah,
I
French
think
people.
Croatian
Yeah,
French.
French are also casual. Italians, Greeks.
Again.
Yeah, we belong to those sorts of people, who are more.
And yeah, and the fact that you have all these tourist destinations in Croatia where you can visit.
Yeah,
It's just a place you go when you've made money. You just want to travel around and all that.
yeah,
And like, if I live in Croatia for 10 years, I don't think I will finish exploring every part of Croatia.
yeah. And that's as I've said, for a small country, it's unbelievable. I mean,
Yes,
yeah,
so that's what I plan on doing, but not now.
yeah, I
In a
know,
few, maybe 1 or 2 years from now, when I know I'm like comfortable financially.
of
Yes.
course. Well, one day, I never been to Africa. In fact, I never been outside of Europe. Yeah, as an archaeologist, I was the most northern part for me was Denmark, and most southern part was Greece. But I would like to visit African continent, especially, of course, Egypt, because I'm archaeologist. Yeah, pyramids. I mean, no, it's cliche. It's cliche. Okay, um, but of course, also Nigeria, South Africa. Yeah, I would like to visit South Africa, but Nigeria is a large country. I would like to
Please
see.
visit South Africa. I want to
Yeah,
visit South Africa too. I
yeah.
love South Africa. It's
Uh,
beautiful. The people are so sweet.
yeah.
Well, there's just a small group of people there that give them a bad name, but generally, South Africa.
Like everywhere. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, exactly.
Yeah.
But South Africans are the best people. I have a South African friend that is also married to a Croatian, and when you speak with her, she is the sweetest person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
So, like, because in Zagreb we have a small community of Africans who
Yeah.
are married to Croatians or dating Croatians. So I get to meet people. So I met her, and we're friends. So I feel you should visit South Africa. It's really good.
One day I hope I will. Pretoria or Cape Town or Johannesburg.
Cape Town.
Yeah,
Cape Town.
Cape Town. I heard
Yeah.
great stuff about it. I just wanted to ask you when you said that you had a bad experience with some of African Americans when you talked about interracial stuff and everything. Have you ever have some experience like that from your own people, Nigerians? I mean,
No.
no.
Um, that's the point. The Nigerians that care about those kind of things are only on the internet.
Yeah,
In real life, they don't care.
yeah,
Compared to like okay, like yeah, I don't like to generalize as well. So these are some people compared to some Black Americans. Nigerians don't care about color. As long as you're happy, as long as the person doesn't treat you bad or insult your culture, we're good. You
Of
know,
course. Uh,
we don't make. Okay, there's this man who's a billionaire in Nigeria. Well, he's a worldwide billionaire. His name is Otedola, right? He has kids, a lot of kids, 4 kids. So his eldest daughter uh, is she's a Nigerian, but she's getting married to a white guy, right?
yeah,
And he's British. He's a very famous British boxer. So when I went to her Instagram page where they took a picture together, when you go to the comments, a lot of Nigerians are like, "Oh, this guy, this white guy, this guy, he came to marry her for her money. Oh, because her father is so rich, and she's also very rich because she's a DJ, very popular DJ.
yeah,
So, so people were just saying all sorts of things. But the funny thing is, that's just online. We don't take it. We're not offensive. We just use it as like jokes.
yeah,
Oh shit! Even if she got married to a Nigerian guy, we would still say, "Oh, this guy came for her money because she's rich,
yeah,
because
I
she's a
understand.
rich family." So, but it was just all jokes. And when you read things like that, you would laugh. But compared to these extremist Black Americans that say things like racist things, they don't say it to be funny. They say it to hurt your feelings. You
Yeah,
know, they attack you and they say, "Oh, you're a traitor. You're this." Meanwhile, we were like, "Oh, this guy rides a bicycle. If I rode a bicycle, you would never look at me because I'm a Black guy."
yeah.
You know, things make you laugh. So
Well, yeah, I like to be informed about everything, so I follow all sorts of stuff across the world, especially American. I mean, what's going on in USA today? Uh, and it's not only about races there, if you noticed. It's about everything now. It's about what is the woman. Now that's a big question in USA. What is the woman? What is a man? Is there a man? Is there a woman? What one African American guy said, he's a YouTuber, he said, how can we keep up with China if we are talking about crazy things and stuff like that? I mean, and he's right. I totally agree with him. Yeah.
in that aspect, I feel like the Black American people are more outspoken about how things are becoming in America. I honestly, the world is changing. Honestly, I feel like the
Yeah.
world is changing. Even in Nigeria right now, some things that maybe 10 years ago would not be normal are happening. We're having more cross dressers, like men who are dressing up like women and putting on, because compared to you Europeans, we Africans, we treasure the strong man. Like we have this idea that a
We
man
also
has to be
treasured strong men once.
what a long time ago, right? But our culture is based on that, right?
Yeah.
Like we have this cultural thing. If you're not a man, and this, if you don't fit this, then you're not a man. You have to be strong, masculine, tough, protect your wife and your
Well,
mother, your family.
that's totally normal. I mean, that's
So this is kind of embedded in our culture because of how what happened back then, where we're having tribe wars, right?
yeah.
So if the man isn't strong enough, your family will become slaves.
But
They'll come and take your
yeah,
family.
that's
So,
shameful.
so yeah, so that's why sometimes, like when I see like a white cross dresser, like a white guy who dresses as a lot of people don't really take it as anything, like oh whatever. But when they see a black cross dresser, oh my god, shit,
Yeah.
it's so scary. But in Nigeria, we're now accepting things that 10 years ago you go to jail for it. You go to jail for
Yeah.
acting like a girl if you're a guy in Nigeria. But people are because it's social media, so people are not really paying attention anymore. Like, okay, whatever.
But you
you
said
know.
what you said right now. Those are just biological facts. You said man has to be strong. Man has to be protective of his family. Uh, those are just biological facts. Which now, if you would name those five things to, I don't know, in French media or British media or anywhere, you would be proclaimed as a traitor to women, to feminist organization,
See, that's the
So,
point. That's the point. I don't care. Like,
yeah,
uh,
me neither. Yeah,
because it's crazy. I don't care. I am not a feminist, first of all.
yeah.
I'm not a feminist. And
I
I would
had,
say this a hundred
yeah,
times. In Nigeria, we need more feminism than America and British and France, because there you have women who have more power
yeah,
than my country. We've never had a female president ever. Okay,
yeah,
but I mean, come on. American women can do so many things that we Nigerian women can't do, or
yeah,
we will not do. So I should be saying I'm a feminist, but I'm not, because you know why? There's not really much I need as a woman. There was a time when being a woman here was terrible. Right now, it's okay, it's fine. And the way the feminism is right now, it's no longer let's help women. It's about let's.
yeah. It's once feminism was a great movement, and I admire feminism in the beginnings of feminism, of course, for women rights and everything. But now with feminism in the Western world, it's like I don't know. It's like one source of totalitarian movement who wants to enforce something which cannot be. And I saw many feminist women who are against today narrative of, yeah,
And and my major point is also because I watch a lot of these documentaries. When you hear them talk about the reason why or their values as feminists, it's no longer about women. They've put some extra things in there. So now they're also speaking up for trans women. They're speaking up for drag queens. They're speaking up for gay and lesbians and everything. And we're like, that's a whole different group of people. Like, that's a whole different, like, the LGBT people should be protected because I know that they face a lot of nonsense. Like, people
yeah,
treat people crazy, say a lot of crazy things to these people, and I understand that's hurtful. We should be allowed to live the way we want to live our lives. But when you are taking away from the women who you're supposed to protect, you haven't finished protecting women, and you are taking other people and you're saying we're going to protect the men who want to be women, who want to protect the lesbians and the gay guys and this.
yeah.
Who's
And
going to take care of women?
just been I just want to say there are awful men. I mean, who we all know that they are awful men, but also there are awful women also. I mean, we have to say that. And
A woman's worst enemy is another woman. It's not a man.
yeah, and what feminist movement in Western Europe, Croatia is slowly but surely going into that direction. Trust me, you will see that if you move here and live here. Uh, what feminist movement is doing is it's killing the very essence of a man. I mean, where a man cannot be a man anymore.
Yeah.
Everything what is masculine, it is like portrayed
Tough.
as, yeah, it's like a form of, oh, there is a patriarchy, we must erase that, that's against women. But that I think that makes soft men in the long run. I mean, soft men, not physically but mentally soft. And
Yeah.
we need some sort of a balance between Africa and Europe, something in between, if in
Oh,
Africa, yeah,
Africa has a lot to teach Europe when it comes
yeah,
to not giving an S and an F about anything. Like,
yeah,
um, we don't care. Like, have you seen our media, our presidents, different
that is
African?
refreshing.
What? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So when these Western media come into Africa, and they're like, we want to know if you would like to do this or do that with your country. Would you like to legalize gay rights? Okay, we do support people who want to be gay, but we will not put it in our laws because it's not just a thing about laws, it's about our culture. The culture does not accept that yet. There will come a time when that will be accepted, But for now, no. And what one of the presidents, what she said was the best. The president of Liberia, I think. I think that's a woman, right? I think that's the woman who said this. She said, no, I cannot enforce a law that the people do not agree with. The majority of Liberians don't agree with this law. Just because
Yeah.
I'm the person who is in charge, I can't just give them a law. They have to agree and say, we want this before we can. And this lady from Germany or wherever was she from, she was like asking us, trying to tell her, are you sure you don't want to do this? Are you sure you don't want to put this in your law? And she's like, no, I've told you 1 million times. So it was just, I'm very happy with the way that we're doing things. But like I said, I do not believe that anybody should be questioned for the way that they want to live their lives. I feel like everybody should be allowed to live their lives the way that they want to live their lives.
Yeah.
But when you try to enforce someone to do something, you're not helping yourself. You're only making things worse for yourself.
Yeah, and I wish, I mean, my channel, this one where we have this podcast, is it's nowhere near popular as my MBA channel, but we couldn't do I mean, this podcast on MBA channel. Anyway, but I wish one day some African Americans or anyone see this conversation of ours, and
Yeah,
my way of thinking is never mind. Is it totally something left from the left? I mean, like liberalism, neoliberalism, extreme neoliberalism, or is it far right? That but everything which prevents you to say what you think, something is wrong with that system, and there is a lot of now. We can call that culture of cancel. You just cancel something that cannot be, and
that's cancel
yeah.
culture. Yeah, yeah.
But we live in a world like that. I mean, at least Europe and USA, and as I've said, Croatia is
I
going.
think some parts of Europe is still the same like the way it was before, and some parts are already.
Yeah,
I just feel like I don't know why. Sometimes I feel like there are some people who are doing this, you know, puppeteering.
yeah,
People who it's like they're trying to, for me, I feel like there's a group of people who are trying to confuse everybody because I feel like the real fight is between the rich and the poor.
yeah.
That's the real fight. Like race, no. Gender, no.
Great,
Nationality, no. Right?
great point.
But the real fight is between the rich and the poor. Why? Because as a white guy now, okay, you go to Dubai, let's say. We have the richest man in Africa, Dangote, and he's also on Forbes. He's worth 12 billion. Okay,
Yeah.
you can if he's invited to a VIP, you can go in there just because you're white. You can't.
And one more thing. One guy, one very um, I mean, controversial guy. Maybe you heard of him, but I agree with that sentence of his Andrew Tate. I don't know. Did you hear about him?
Tate. Oh,
Yeah, and he is a little bit extreme in his views. Okay,
yeah,
but he
he
said,
is. Oh my god.
but he said something very interesting about what you now said. He said there is no racism or nationalism between rich people, and he saw on many yachts, many boats. I mean, for the rich people and hotel for the rich people. He saw rich black people, rich Arab people, rich white people. They are all happy. And racism and nationalism is only for the poor people. So
Or
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So I agree with that. I agree.
And
And
also,
he
he
is
wasn't
rich,
winning
by the way.
the.
He is rich, by the way.
Oh
So
yeah, he's worth
yeah, he was
100
there
billion.
with them. You know. Yeah.
So the point I was trying to make is if a white guy, let's say let's pick the best country in Europe. What's the best country in Europe? Let's say I don't know, France.
Yeah, I would say Italy. I'm joking. I have to. I love Italy.
Okay, okay, no. Like by best, I mean the one that is the most pompous, like the ones that believe their passport is more than anything.
Oh, okay. Let's take Switzerland. Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's say Swiss guy, a random Swiss guy, wants to go to maybe I don't know, maybe wants to fly first class.
yeah,
Dangote is on that queue. Okay, people know that this is Dangote, who has a diplomatic passport. I'm pretty sure he does. Now tell me, even if that Swiss guy, maybe there's just one seat left.
yeah,
Do you really think they'll give the seat to that Swiss guy? They want to maintain good relationships with the guy who has more dough, who has more money. They'll give it to Dangote.
of
Number
course.
two, if Dangote goes to visit any other country, if he goes to visit Dubai, let's say, they give him a VIP access. You as a white guy, do you get a VIP access? You don't get it.
Yeah, I
It's
just
the rich.
yeah,
My husband was telling me this. My husband told me this one day. He said, I don't believe in racism. I don't believe in sexism. I believe in mentality of rich versus poor. And that's
yeah.
true.
And people tend to generalize of who run this world, and theory of conspiracies. By the way, before I say something, I worked with Israelis, with Israeli people on archaeological digs, and I find them one of the best people. I mean, if I could generalize, one of the best, one of the smartest, everything best about them I ever met. But you heard about that theory of conspiracy. Jews are running the world. I was even joking with them about that, and they were laughing. And they would often tell me, like, Daniel, I wish we are running this world. I wish. No, but rich Jews are running this world. We don't. I don't. My Israeli friend told me I don't have anything in common with him except he's Jew, I'm Jew. And he is
Yeah, so
running. Yeah, yeah. And so I would agree with that. If someone would tell me, Daniel, do you want the Jews to run this world? I would now answer sarcastically. I would say, yes, please. I want Jews to run this world if that would be, but it's not that simple. I think people who run this world are people, I call them without race, without religion, without nationality. Their only race is the money. And that's all. There are
I,
no
I
Jews,
yeah,
or I don't know.
I feel like if you're Nigerian, if you're African, if you live in Nigeria, especially, I don't know about other. That's the problem. We as Africans, we always speak for Africa. I don't know what South Africa does. I don't know what Niger and the rest. I only know Nigeria, right? So as a Nigerian, when you live here, especially now, I moved to a new city, right? Lagos. It's the biggest, most developed city in Nigeria. When you come here, you experience the most kind of classism. You know, if you're poor, you would see what hell is here. But we're
Yeah,
all black people. Now, I can literally be walking into a restaurant and they'll tell me to turn around and leave because I don't have a shoe on or because I don't look like I have money. You know,
I know.
so like you can see the classism and you would and that's when I think I stopped believing in racism when I was like about 19 19 when
Yeah,
I started to watch more things on the internet and I've seen how rich people live and how rich people think. They think very different from us. No rich person is worried about what this no rich black person is thinking. What does this white guy think about?
yeah,
Thinking about how can I double my money? Like,
yeah.
what's the
I really doubt that Denzel Washington, and I love Denzel Washington, really. I really doubt that he is talking with, I don't know, with Charlie Sheen on some occasion about racial issues in USA when they're both
no,
drunk in some
no.
party. I really doubt, but okay. Maybe someone can be convinced in the, what I want to say. Uh, anyway, rich people are rich people, and I just wanted to say I'm not fan of Andrew Tate, but he has a point there. I mean, he is a rich and he was around those people, and he said that he never ever saw them talking about any. They were talking about races, but like a mockery, you know. In terms, it's for a poor people. It's for a poor people.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
that's this race thing was just a distraction. I think it's just a distraction.
yeah, divide and
So
conquer.
why?
Yeah,
I mean, like you can't tell me now that the world is more racist than it was back
yeah.
then. I mean, we have a whole new generation of people coming up. There's no way that the world is more racist now.
No,
You know, we are
no.
growing together as a, let's say, a
Yeah,
community of people. So
yeah.
it's strange that everything. I think now that social media is so prevalent in our lives, everybody just talks race, race. Like, in fact, I don't think that white people actually talk about. Well, I don't know what you guys talk about. I don't know what you guys talk about in your little community chats. If I am on Instagram, if I'm on Instagram and
We talk.
I
You know
see,
what we talk about? We talk about how will we. You know where I'm going now. How will we conquer this world once and for all?
and for
I'm
oh
joking,
yes,
joking.
we think about how we can buy like how we can ship all the black people in a nice luxurious spaceship and go to Mars and live there.
Yeah, yeah. And
But okay, but on a serious note, I always get so frustrated when I go online and I see like a post. Like yesterday, I was on Instagram and I saw this beautiful girl, beautiful African girl. She doesn't speak English, so she's from some African country where the language is not English. You know, so we have nothing in common except this, right?
yeah,
So she has very blue eyes, but it's a kind of a syndrome. It's a one word or what, where
yeah,
you're black and you have blue eyes. It's not normal, you know. So but her voice was so she was singing for her mom, and her voice was so sweet. So people were like, "Oh my God, she's so beautiful." Like the white people that were in the comments, Asians, "Oh, she's so beautiful," and the Black Americans.
well,
F white people for thinking that we cannot have blue eyes. Like, where did that come from? Who said that? We're trying to appreciate this little baby for how beautiful her voice is and how beautiful she looks, but it was all about the eyes. Oh, her eyes. Oh, black people can have blue eyes. It's normal. It became a race issue, and then
you
something
know,
that was supposed to be.
yeah, you know,
Go ahead.
with what I would compare that, I have to say this, and this is again a political correctness. It's just an analogy. You said you watched the Game of Thrones, right? And there is
I
now, but now there is now that show House of the Dragon. It's like a prequel to Game of
oh,
Thrones. And you know what?
I
I talked with my I have a one black friend I met on a forum. You know, it's international forum for writing about all, and he agreed with me. He's from USA. They created, and you have a book, House of the Dragon, where one family, Valerian, is described racially how their, I mean, their appearance is pale, blonde hair, everything. And in the show, guess what? Uh, House of Valerian, they are black people.
yeah,
And now,
I
and now he, as a black person who loves the book, who loves that everything, he said to me when we were writing on Facebook, he said to me, many of white people think that I will now be happy because they created Valerians to be black, but I'm not happy. They are insulting my intelligence with that. I mean, those political correctness people. I mean, he wants them to be what they are in the book, you know, and not insult him with
yeah.
I don't know. But that is that
It's
sick.
the same way. It's the same way I feel when I see a black person in a European pre-civilized movies, like those
Yeah,
times where you had the knights and all that. You're
yeah,
changing history.
yeah,
I, if we want to make a history about Nigeria, I don't think there'll be one white person. except you're talking about colonization and you're making them act the British
Yeah.
colonizers. Or if you want to do a history of South Africa before the apartheid, before the white people came in, I don't think you have white people there because it wouldn't make any sense. But for some reason, we have to be put into every other person's culture just for it's just
Political
no.
correctness.
I
Yeah.
think it's called pandering. They're trying to pander, but also they're trying to make money. It's like
Yeah.
a game because I know the people will talk about this. People would say, "Let me go see it." Oh, great!
Yeah,
I
but
wish I never saw.
yeah, and I was shocked really. Yeah, I see you are totally open-minded and free speech, and you will understand me on this. When I first saw movie Thor, Marvel movie, and I couldn't believe it. It's about Nordish European
Yeah,
mythology,
Nordic.
and you
Yes,
have a black guy. I mean, I don't understand that if I am
I
watching
think
African movie about, I mean, about some African mythology, let's say zombies. Zombie mythology is from Africa, as far as I know. And if you want yeah, it's from, I think, Eastern Africa, Eastern Coast, mythology about zombies. You can research this, maybe I'm mistaken. But if someone would make a movie about origins of zombies, I don't want white people there. I want to see actual from people from actual mythology about zombies. Or
I
yeah. Anyway, you get the point. And that
I get
kind,
the point.
yeah,
I feel like it's just a bunch of people who are trying to pander. I think they're just trying to like they feel like there's something that some Black Americans do. That's why I always say that look, when you say all Black people are the same, we're very different.
yeah,
Okay, the Black American man's problem and the African man's problem are two different things.
yeah,
We have problem when it comes to money. An African man is so crazy about I need financial success. I want to work hard and make money. A Black American guy is worried about the next foundation shade that would be his skin tone. I know not
yeah,
all of them are like this, but when I go online and I see this and I'm like, wait, hold on. We have an African woman crying, her baby is maybe has malaria, she needs help and all that. Then you have this other black person who lives in a free world, in a developed country, and her problem is this company came out with a makeup and the makeup doesn't fit my skin tone.
yeah,
So the company would then go and make that makeup so that they can fit the skin tone, not because they want to, but because the people are asking for it and the
yeah,
people are forced to do it. But now the way I see things is if I want to see more black people in movies, there are black people who make movies in America, black producers, movie producers. There's Tyler Perry. What's her name? No, what's her name? I can't remember that name. But she's my favorite movie
you
maker.
mean actress or
No, producers.
you have
Filmmakers.
oh you have I love one the director, he's not producer, director, Spike Lee, maybe you know. He's doing like
Spike,
Spike Lee is about issues, racial issues in America. I would recommend that you watch some of his movies. I mean, they're even
uh,
funny,
I,
but
I really don't know him. But if I wanted black people in movies, I wouldn't try to tell the white man, "Hey, put more black people in movies." I'll go put black people in movies. Me,
yeah, 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 of
because
course,
because because then I create the story. It doesn't have to be a white man's story. Like if they're doing a history of Egyptians today, I know that back then in Hollywood messed up because back then they had like a lot of white people playing black characters, like Egypt pre Islamic invasion. Egypt was a different kind of society from
of
what it is
course,
today, right? But then in the movies back then, they had white people playing Egyptians. I understand that back then, black people and white people in America were not at the same level. There
yeah,
was, serious racism, discrimination
yeah,
against. But
but
today,
that,
but
yeah,
today, everybody's equal in America. There's no Jim Crow. There's nothing. Everybody's equal. Okay.
yeah,
So what stops you as a black man to create a character for for black people. I understand if it's a fantasy character where maybe like Snow White. Okay, fine. But why does she have to be black? Everybody grew up with Snow White being a white girl with blonde hair. Why do you
Yeah.
have to put a black? And for me, I think that it's insulting to black people. It's insulting to a black person. Like, so you can't just create a character for a black person. You have to replace.
Well, I don't know. Do you know this? And it's nothing shameful if you don't, because I am, archaeologist and
I'm
historian.
not.
No, no, it's okay. But I
Uh,
think this should be someone should teach this in Western world, especially when it comes about African Americans, that the biggest slave owners back in the let's just yeah, but blacks were selling blacks to whom? To Arab people. I have to mention this.
I know that.
The biggest owners of white and black slaves were Arabs.
Uh,
Millions of white slaves were coming from Eastern Europe, I mean, captured, of course, into various Arab countries. I'm not pointing a finger now into Arabs; they are all evil or something. But someone should make a movie, some blockbuster Hollywood movie about Arabs hunting whites and blacks and
I
selling
would
them.
make that.
Yeah, of course. It's
I
not
mean,
politically
I
correct. It's
also,
not politically correct.
I always try. I don't know how people will take this, but you know what? The funny thing is, I'm a little person. Nobody knows me, right?
Yeah,
So I don't. I mean, even if I was someone popular, it's the truth. Now look at this. Every black person in the world today believes that the battle in race is black versus white. But now let me ask you this question: how many white countries? Sorry, how many black countries in Africa that have been invaded by Europeans that are 100% European today?
yeah, yeah. True.
How many?
None.
Zero.
Yeah,
All of them, the Europeans either left or they decided to become part of the culture, but the black people who are from there are still the majority there.
yeah,
But now let's flip the book. Talk about all the parts of Africa that the Arabs have invaded. How many of them are 100% black? Zero.
of course.
The black people have been wiped out, their culture has been wiped out, their religion has been wiped out. Now the total people who own that country are the Arabs. So Morocco, Egypt, Libya,
Yeah,
these countries are North Sudan. These countries are no longer black people's countries. To the point that I remember there was this dispute on YouTube between this black girl and an Arabic woman from North Sudan, and she's like, "You people stole someone else's land," and she's like, "I didn't steal land. I'm Sudanese. You're not
yeah,
Sudanese. You have people who are actually Sudanese who can't be in their home because you took it away." But every single time we're like, "Oh, the white man is a devil." I'm not calling anybody the devil, but if you look at our history, you would see where we're really suffering. And this is not only black people, like you
but do
just
you
said,
know?
nobody wants
I'm sorry. I'm
about.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm very sorry, but I just want to make one point. Every government in this world needs some form of a devil. Now, in America, or maybe in some African countries or anywhere, you need a white devil to win elections. And for example, here in Croatia, you need a Serbian devils to win elections. In Serbia, you need Croatian devils. I swear to you. And you always need those devils to win elections, because I don't know why is that, but unfortunately, I'm always an optimist. I hope one day human race will change, but for some reason you need the devil. And what people in I'm not I mean, I'm not American, but if I would be American, I wouldn't be Democrat. I wouldn't be Democrat, but I wouldn't be Republican either. I'm just saying that Democrats there who are pretending they love black people, Hillary Clinton and people like that. They love black people so much that they didn't do anything. I mean, this is not. I'm just quoting some of African Americans, and they're using them, black white hatred, to win another elections. Because why? How?
Right.
If people would get along, and if we will, I don't know, not sing kumbaya, but if we would learn to joke about our races, joke about them, and to make them into trivial stuff, like every day. How would they divide us? On what basis? I don't understand.
That's why, what's his name? The new president, Biden,
Biden, yeah.
said it himself. He said, if you don't vote for the left. So for a white man to be able to say that today, can you hear me? So he said that if you don't vote for me, you're not black. So for a white man to say that today and get away with it, he has to be a Democrat. And
Yeah.
not only just a Democrat, he has to be a very powerful Democrat. Because if anybody else says that, be a problem. I'm neither Democrat or Republican because I really do not understand American politics. I think
Well,
the politics is
I
so
do
old and
understand some of
historical.
it. I do understand
But
some of it. Yeah. And if you would be American, if you
I mean,
your family would ask from you that you vote for Democrats, because if you don't, you would be selected as a traitor.
oh my God,
Yeah, you would be selected as a traitor to your own. Just
oh my God.
search it on internet. I mean on YouTube. You will see.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I know, but I feel like it depends on. Are you talking about like my family growing up in Africa and then going to
No, no, no,
America,
no. If they
or
are, if you
growing
would
up
be,
in
no,
America?
no, no. If you would be totally American, I mean totally African American family. So many.
Maybe, yeah, because everybody's mind has changed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not talking about your mom or dad. I mean about your relatives would view you. I saw clips from YouTube where African Americans were saying this. African
Yes,
American
yes, yes,
Republicans, they would say,
yes,
"Oh my God, she or
yes.
he betrayed our own race, and he voted for Donald Trump." I mean, okay. Anyway,
So,
yeah, that's sad. And I
I
see.
actually did like I was focused on the election in 2016, but then I lost interest because it just became a shit show.
Yeah,
It's like it's no longer about who can really take care of our country. It's more about who likes me as a black man and who doesn't. So I actually understand the points the Republicans make when it comes to like issues about racism. Fact is, Democrats have always like you just know this section of what like honestly, I do not like I said I do not believe in racism, but there are racists if you can agree. There are racists in every shade and color. Racism exists in white people, in what the white race, the black race, the Asian race. We are all capable of being racist. Everybody.
you know,
Let's forget.
I agree totally. There is
Let's forget
a.
about uh,
Yeah,
the normal system of things. I've heard Africans say and do the worst things to white people. Okay, I've heard and seen. My husband is Croatian, is white. I've seen some things happen to him, and if I wasn't there, it's not like I can do much. But if I wasn't there, people would have gotten away with a lot of things. You
yeah,
know, he would be so frustrated, and he would never want to come here anymore. You know,
yeah,
so we can all do things to each other that would be seen as racist, but for some reason in America only white people get racist. Okay, fine, whatever you want to say, but my point is when you hear people like Biden talk, you will hear him talk in a very demeaning tone about black people.
yeah,
He believes that black Americans do not have the brain to think for themselves, so he will tell them how to think. But when you hear Trump talking, he's not telling you if you don't vote for me, you're not a black person. He's not telling you that he's not trying to rap to make you feel more relatable, which is so insulting. Rapping
yeah,
for some reason, if you do this, you're somehow the best president. Trump will tell you, listen, America is this. Let's do this to solve the problem. You don't like it, fine.
yeah,
And he gives it straight like a bullet, right? But you see these Democrats trying to include, like, okay, Biden wanted to talk about black issues, and who does he invite? Cardi B.
yeah,
You know Cardi B, right? You know Cardi B, the
yeah,
rapper.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, she's a good person and all because she's funny. I like her. She's funny. But when it comes to talking about black issues from a political standpoint, you're supposed to call somebody that is either one an activist, somebody who has an idea about issues, not somebody who spends half of the time in a studio recording her next hit and working on stage. Come on.
I totally agree.
So it shows you the level that he sees black people. Would he call? Let me ask. Would he call Eminem if he wanted to talk about white people's issues in America? Would he call Eminem, or would he call who? Macklemore, that guy who raps. It's Macklemore.
Yeah.
What's his name? The white guy who raps as well. Or would he
Uh,
call Lady Gaga if he wanted to know about white people's issues? He would call somebody who is into politics. So he went to call Cardi B to ask her what do black people want. That was the most insulting thing, and a lot of Black Americans were pissed off. Rightly so. But like I said, in every race we have those people who are sheep, and we have the lions.
yeah.
So I'm glad that gradually we're having less sheep and more lions in the Black American community. Gradually.
Well, I think I would just say this. We need a lot more. Not only, I mean, not only that. Let's act now like those people who generalize. Not only that, we need more black people like you. We need more humans like you. I mean, in general, because you are so open-minded about your everything about you, and I think
Yeah.
I'm not Jordan Peterson, but I think he would say, like, and many other, Jordan Peterson and a lot of African Americans, because I researched this subject a lot. They would say, thumbs up and just keep on with your straight opinion. I mean, what you think is right, and don't be a victim of political correctness because someone will call you a traitor. You know what's the truth,
Anyway,
and yeah,
I would like to hear. That's the point. People that do that, they never want to have a conversation. But I'm also like that too. I don't want to have a conversation with somebody who would try to make you think different. What person you can say? There's something I just wanted to say now that I forgot. But all I have to say is my opinions are my opinions. If anybody has a problem with it, then that's their problem. Because just
yeah,
because I'm black, that I think alike. Uh-huh. My family, my parents, the way I was raised, well, most Nigerians are raised like this as well. If you see a bad thing, you speak up. You don't hide it because the person is your family member. If somebody in the family is stealing and you keep quiet, he's going to steal, and nothing is going to be left for you. So if I see, if maybe there's like how many crates of eggs? Maybe we have 12 crates of eggs, and 12 eggs in a crate, and one gets bad and nobody picks it out and keeps it away.
yeah,
So I like to, when I see bad things, I point and say that shit is bad. That's bad. Please, it's bad. But for some reason, some people, there are really some crazy people on the internet. Honestly, like you see TikTok, that's a place where I would never be. I tried it and I left. TikTok is a very toxic place, especially as a black person, because you see a lot of racism, like not white people being racist. Okay, we're talking about like black people and Asians and people who are considered the minorities in the world. Hear them say the worst kind of things that
yeah,
a human being should never say about another person. So at this point, I can see who the oppressor is because there was a time when I know this only happened in America, in South Africa, in a few countries. Because if we want to talk about my history as Nigerian, I know that Nigeria was way worse, way worse before the British came. We were literally enjoying slave trade. Like we were using each other in the worst way possible. Okay, I've studied all of that history about how we would capture each other, use as slaves, like a man and his whole family as slaves. These are black people.
Yeah.
And when the white men came to buy, just you ship them off to these strangers that you don't even know. So I've read that history. But my point is, every other culture that we believe that the white man was the aggressor because white Americans created racism, and that is true. During
Yeah.
that slave trade era, they created the differences between white and black. They created racism.
Of
But I
course.
feel like
Of course. Yeah.
but but I feel like they did that because when they came here to pick slaves, they saw how we treated each other,
Yeah.
how the Nigerians treated the Nigerians that were being sold less than
Yes.
human. They were in chains, for God's sake.
Yes.
So they're like, oh, look at how they treat each other. Okay, I mean, if I do worse,
Yeah.
who cares? Besides, they never knew we existed. They were white, for God's sake. This is the first time they're seeing a bunch of black people. So when they created racism during that slave trade era, yeah, they enjoyed it until Jim Crow and all of that, and then everything ended after the civil rights movement, which the bravest black people on earth, honestly, they are the bravest black people on earth. To stand up like that and speak at that time, the bravest black people on earth were the ones who fought in the Civil War, the ones who stood up for apartheid in South Africa. Those were the bravest black because that's when there was real shit going on.
Yeah.
As a black, it was really hard to survive. But now you have black people who are living like you can literally walk into a freaking store and slap someone who is white and you don't get shot for that. You can even say on social media, oh, I wish white people would stop having babies. And nobody comes to your house to look for you for that.
Yeah.
So you have people like that. And now you're saying these things that if a white person stands and says exactly the same things you're saying, it becomes a total conversation.
Yeah.
It's no longer freedom of speech, it's now racism.
Um,
So I can tell what the aggressors
I
here
totally agree.
are now. So that's why
And I think you will
exactly.
agree. And I
So
think you are 100% right. And one more thing, I think you know this to be true 2000%. At the end of the day, the most important thing is love. And
love.
yeah, and those women, those African American women, or I don't know, white women, never mind, Chinese women, if they would say something to you about your husband, I mean, that's saying so much about them, and it's so low because I said at the end of the day, you love truly your husband and he loves you. And I am archaeologist and historian. Trust me when I say this time will pass, everything pass. Roman Empire fell, everything will pass. But at least we can be happy if we have someone in this life that we truly and honestly love.
Our lives.
And that is the life. That is the meaning of life. Everything else is secondary. Not.
But also I want to just point out that the people, I just believe the people who do this to me, who say these kind of things, are just miserable. Like I
Yeah.
said, I receive a lot of good wishes and well wishes from a lot of Black American women. Most of them follow me on my channel and on my page on Instagram. So I would say I focus more on the good ones.
Yeah, I know, but those
Because these
people. Yeah.
other ones, they're trying to tell me that I should not fall in love. I should fall in color. Fall in color. Yeah.
Imagine
I shouldn't fall
imagine
in love.
I'm just talking hypothetically now. Imagine I fell in love with a black girl. And now someone is coming to me and is saying, you know what, you should find an exact person like her, with the exact soul like her, exact smiling like her, exact anything, everything must be like her, but she have to be white. And I just want to make a point with this, how stupid and how I'm sorry for my language. How fucking retard would that be? If someone would ask that from me, that person is perfect. Never mind, is it white, black, Chinese, or? I'm sorry that people from various races, in this case African Americans, of course, don't. I mean, those
Yeah.
women. Not everyone. Not everyone.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said before, racism will always exist in different shades.
Yeah.
So I feel like these people are just miserable racists. These black people that do this
And I'm sorry for my
because
language. I'm sorry. I said for retards, but I don't know how else to. I don't think
okay,
that. Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand. But like I was saying in that video that you watched on my
yeah,
channel, I said that you see, you can tell me not to date a white guy because you feel like he's white and he's a and they always say that he's my master. You see,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the problem. That's the part I don't like. You see, they always try to put him here and put me here. These are black people like me,
yeah.
and since
Uh,
they are mostly Americans, they're supposed to be more developed than me, you know. So
yeah,
how can you say that as somebody who comes from a history of slavery? You tell somebody like me. That's why I said, although we're black, we're different because my history has no slavery. Okay, I don't have
yeah.
any slavery.
You see, that's your.
So
That's at least that's in my opinion. I don't know many Africans. I mean, actual Africans like you, but I think there's the problem with African Americans. They have that complex of slavery, and until they
I
solve that
like
complex, I don't know. Uh, I mean, politicians will just use that against them, both
yes,
them and
yes,
whites, especially them.
but
Yeah,
but I would point the fact that there's so like minorities that the ones that speak up, their voices are drowned
yeah,
because these ones they're always so loud on the internet, but in real life they're not there. These ones that say these things, that blame slavery for everything, they're the ones that are the loudest in the room. But anyways, about those women who say those things to me, the main point I wanted to make was if a white guy, literally, or a white woman says, "Oh, I don't date black people." Now, in that video, I mentioned that these women or men who tell me this, they told me I should not be dating or be married to a white person as a black person, right? Now, I made a comment in that video. I said, if a white woman or a white man comes on Instagram and says, or YouTube and says, I'm only attracted to white women. I'm not attracted to black women. It would be a big problem,
yeah.
you
But
know?
of course,
But
there is a joke. Okay, you asked me what do white people what do we joke about? When no one is listening. Well, listen this joke. I mean this is a joke. This is actually true. Like, for example, there is a US. Let's take USA for example. There is a Chinese Chinese pride, African pride. I mean black pride. There, and you know where I'm going with this. There is a Jewish pride. There is a Martian pride. There is a Jupiterian pride. But you just mention white pride and see what happens. Yeah, everything explodes. Okay. I understand that white people did really bad things in
I
past,
mean, everybody
but
did bad
yeah,
things.
But what Mongols did, I think no one can rival them ever. Mongols. Now they are a country no one cares about or anything.
Honestly, to me, I feel like Mongols, yeah, they did, but now they're almost extinct, right?
Yeah,
But I keep talking about that thing I told you about with Africa,
yeah,
with the northern part of Africa. That's the worst to me. But nobody would ever say anything about that. And even me saying something about it, even black people would tell me, "Oh, don't talk about that. Oh, no, 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 don't talk about that." I think that the reason why white people have this bad reputation, it really came from America. You know why? Because I know as a historian, you also know this that the Arab slave trade,
yeah,
they really did worse than what Americans did,
yeah.
way worse. But the reason why a lot of people could not talk about it today is because they would marry the women, right? And or they would have children with the women, and they would become their family and all that. Like there's the way they were able to wash off the slavery, whatever.
Yeah.
So there were not many people left to talk about how evil it was. But with America, they got their freedom, okay, and they were able to pass on this information to their kids and all of
Just
that.
yeah,
So
just one example. I'm sorry, I have to mention this. One example
yes,
how free they are. I mean, all of us right now, all of us, never mind Americans, Europeans, and relatively Africans,
yeah,
because
they were the ones who were in the most recent slavery history.
yeah, yeah. But we have much bigger problems in world. For example, we mentioned Egypt. This was a fact 5 years ago. I will need to recheck. Is it still a fact about Egypt? In Egypt, 70% of Egyptians think if you leave Islam that you should be killed. I mean, that's the 70% of Egyptians, and they are not even radical Muslims. And now imagine that 70% of Brazilians think that if you leave Catholicism, that you should be killed. Now that would be a major problem in USA and European news. What the hell is going on with Brazilian people? I mean, I'm just saying about double standards we encounter
There's
daily.
so much.
Yeah,
I think if we talk about double standards, we would never finish this
yeah,
ever because it falls into so many parts:
yeah,
gender, race, religion. It's a lot.
yeah.
Everybody, literally, my annoyance is we're trying to tell ourselves that the people who are not the worst are the worst. Now, I'm not saying that what happened to Americans, to the Black
Yeah.
Americans, or more like the Africans in that were sent
But
there is
Jesus, I
good.
have to say this. What happened to Native Americans? They are almost extinct.
Oh my God! Why would you mention
I
that?
mean,
Oh my God!
I mean, this is not even
Haven't
for
you
laughing. This is
haven't, haven't you heard? You've not heard that there were. Sorry, my son is crying.
no, no, it's
There
okay.
were there were no. What's wrong? What's
If
wrong?
you have to go, Anita,
Is he? Just let him take it. No, he wants to take something. So I don't know if you've heard. The latest history is that there were never any Native Americans.
oh really?
The original, yeah, the original Native Americans are the Black Americans.
Who black and white people are what? Uh, who? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's a so basically, Black Americans are the original Native Americans, the original Jews, the original Moors, the original Egyptians,
Yeah.
the original. I think also some people have also said they're the original
I could
Muslims. I don't know. I don't know
I
honestly.
could say I am original descendant of I don't know velociraptors from dinosaur age,
No,
but
my point is, my point is, a very sensitive history, like Native American history,
Yeah,
that is so sad. You know, we all know what happened to them. You have a bunch of black people trying to steal that away. This is not all black Americans. This is some. Some
yeah,
people who do not know their identity anymore. They want to be anything else but African because we know that every black, like we say that Africa is the Mother Earth. Everybody came from Africa.
yeah,
But then that's when they agree that they're Africans. When we talk about the fact that civilization started in Africa, one, that the human race started in Africa. That's when they say, yes, I'm African. But then on the normal day, they tell you, no, we're not Africans. We're never from Africa. We're already in America before the white men came because we're the original
but
Native Americans.
yeah, but there are various. I will not hold you up for long anymore. Sorry. There are various theories of conspiracies about white people that aliens experimented on us, long time ago. So that's why. I mean, I mean, yeah, you can find everything now today on internet. Yeah, it's like 10,000 or 12,000 years ago, aliens experimented on humans and created an evil race who now. Anyway, Anita, I see you need to go because of the baby, and
Yes.
thank you for. Thank you for this entire conversation. And
Yeah, I would like to get a link to the video so I could
of
watch
course,
it.
I will send you a link and everything.
And
Yeah,
and maybe I could also share it on my channel as well.
of course. You can
Share it on
download
the
it. You can
post.
you can download it and upload it if you want. I
No,
mean,
no, no. Like I'll share it on the link on the post so people
okay,
can go watch. Yeah,
okay, great. And
yeah.
thank you one more time. And just
Thank you
for
so.
what?
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you because I'm honored to meet people like you, really. And we need more humans like this, not only Nigerians or Croatians or anything.
Humans in general, life would be so awesome if we could just all
Yeah,
have conversations like this.
yeah. Thank you. And maybe one day again we will meet here on YouTube. Yeah.